Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of the code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things. Well, welcome. Hello. Good morning. Well, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is to you. I'm having a little trouble here with the set. Hold on one second, guys. Well, that's not good. Maybe it all got. I think it all got unplugged. The sign's out today. Sorry, everybody. Well, hello. Welcome to another morning of chatting with the captain. I am the captain, your Captain RG3, bringing you some more Hex pulse chain information, chat, community members, you name it. We're going to have a talk again with Chattin, our good friend from down south. And we're going to talk about what's been going on this week. I know that Richard tweeted a couple of times. We've had a reversal in the market. Let me say hello real quick to everybody. Hey, what's up, Biff Finesse and Red Squirrel? Good having you guys. Red Squirrel, I know we've been chatting back and forth. We'll get it together here one of these days. Let's see. 80 Robert Kelleher. What's up, everybody? And yes, happy New Year's Eve to everyone. Tonight's the big dance, right? Rolling into 2025. Bull market, the whole thing. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to bring up our guest, and we're gonna get right into it. Let's see here. Let me turn off the annoying box, my phone. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Chattin. What's happening, bud? How you doing?
Hey, good morning, and happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's noon here, but like in 12 hours. So happy New Year, everyone. And really, I want to bring the positivity into next year. That's what we're talking here.
Yeah, good, man. Look at it. I haven't even shaved. It's so early over here for me.
I did. I just got my hair shaved. I was getting ready for the for the conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm running a little behind this morning, but it is what it is. So how's things going out there since
Everything
last we spoke?
You mean in the world or here? Because
over
here
there,
everything is good.
Where you're at? Yeah, that's.
I'm in Peru, and I live in Peruvian Andes, and everything is beautiful here. Lovely weather. Everybody's happy. Lots of healing. Lots of understanding. Everything is really good here. I wish the world would reflect that. You know.
Well, I mean, it's all in perspective too. I've been talking to some people over the last week here, family, friends, and stuff, and it's like you can look at things in a bad light or in a good light, and it's up to you and how you look at it. Now, that doesn't change things that are out there. That means you have to get up off of your ass and go change things. But I think that's the best way we can look at it, is put a positive spin on it and get to work.
Yeah, I agree.
So since last we spoke, we've had some more FUD in the pulse chain space. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's a strong one. That's a scary part. But it was scary for like a minute, and that's why I wanted to share with people, to hopefully to help people to feel the way I feel about this. So that's the purpose of this conversation. Mm-hmm. And I went, a few days ago, I went on Corey Geary podcast, DeFi Crypto Alliance, and we talked about that too. And it was very good. I felt better about this and everybody else. So I thought it's important to talk about this openly and honestly, and just clear the FUD, because it's not a good one, no. But it's not a catastrophic if we really zoom out and see the bigger picture. So Let's talk about this. Yeah, I'll share with you what I feel about this, how I feel about this, and you share your
Yeah.
thoughts, and maybe together we can bring some clarity.
Well, so it's nothing new. It's not anything that we haven't seen before. With the FUD being spread about our ecosystem that we all are fans of. It's been this way from the beginning. At times, when something
Hmm.
comes out and it affects us, um, it 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 bothers me for a moment, and then I go, okay, well, it's just status quo. We're gonna have to keep on fighting and move against this. It's funny that we've for 5 years now, this is what we've been dealing with, and at first, it was kind of like a conspiracy that they were after us, that they were trying to make things difficult on us.
Your mic is not very good. Your audio, Captain. Maybe you can check a
Let
little
me
bit.
double check
It's
something.
hard to hear.
How about now? Any
Yeah,
better?
that's good. Yeah, yeah, very good.
Okay.
Uh huh.
Yeah, my
Yeah, that's
power
good.
wasn't on my.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
on 1 second. There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it's FUD, and then we can we I remember we were saying, well, it's just because Richard built something good that everybody's coming at it sideways and everybody's trying to FUD it out because nobody wants to be dethroned. Bitcoin doesn't want to be dethroned. Ethereum doesn't want to be dethroned. But in essence, that's what he did. And so the fact that he's made all of these um, powers that be within this space angry doesn't surprise me. And it doesn't surprise me that we continue to see delistings, um, uh, uh, you know, being pulled from so-called decentralized um, uh, um, applications. For some reason, they're able to pull hex or pulse chain off of these things and call themselves decentralized. So it's it's disheartening, and it affects us, but it's not over, and we haven't lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's kind of my take on it. It is frustrating though when you see how this has affected us, you know, um, financially, and now on a social um uh, aspect, I guess, of this, we've gained because of the strength that we've had to muster together in order to
Yeah, to
go up
survive then.
against this, and go up against the entities not only outside of crypto, which is what crypto is doing, is fighting all of the big agencies and all the big bureaucracies and all the big banks and the governments and everything else. Um, but within crypto,
Within.
we have to fight with the people within crypto. So it's been taxing and tiring, to be honest.
That's true, and the timing is very important too. It's not just the FUD; it's when the FUD comes. It's like, but let's talk about the efforts first, okay? Like, what can we do to fight back legally and effectively as a community? I think that's very important conversation that should be on everyone's mind. Every
Yeah,
streamer should be talking about that to their communities, and to other people too, because this is like, or we make through it or we die kind of thing. This is the fight for our lives in a sense. Nobody's
yeah,
going to kill us, but they're trying to kill our investment.
yeah.
They're trying to kill our faith in ecosystem.
Well, yeah, and they've done a really good job. They've they've done damage over and over again, from the SEC to the
Interpol.
exchanges to the coin listing applications. All of them have done damage, um, and I think it's time, like you said, that we get tough. The
Yeah.
community came together and got a MEC-C listing by putting value into their system as they had asked to get it listed, and then they delisted. I think that there's some kind of action, legal action there. However, I don't know where MEC-C exists. Obviously, it could exist anywhere. There may not be anyone. So I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe the Pulse Chain Foundation guys that worked on that might have a better idea. I'm sure that they've already sent, emails and stuff like that. But they should account for that, for what they did, or at least return the funds or something. But that delisting there, that was egregious, and I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest.
But what was the explanation why they did that? How they?
I didn't see that there was an explanation from them. I just know that it was done, and because.
But you can't just do like this, man. It's like they were paid to do it.
Yeah.
You can't just do that. You can't just do what you want. This is authoritarian.
Yeah, well, they did. So now it's like, okay, we got to figure out
more lawsuits, man. The list is growing.
What the action is going to be, and I mean, we could say the same thing about the SEC FUD when they first launched their campaign to come at Hex, to come at us, to come at Richard, and now we've got a whole stack of legal actions, delistings, all just piled up right before the bull market starts to take off, and that's I know for a lot of people that's scary, but I don't think that it's going to affect us, to be honest. It's going to affect us right now. It's going to look real bad right now, but I think that once vindication starts, which I was surprised that we haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, it should be there.
Today should be the answer, if there is, unless they delayed the answer somehow, which is my guess. I figured they would have already said something before, January or before December 31st. But that could be,
Well, it's a holiday season, so let's give it a week.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that we'll hear it January.
The judge did say that they were going to, have a decision within 60 days. Doesn't
you don't have season, it's just like everything on hold. Like we need to give it a week.
Yeah.
It's like I think mid-January we'll probably hear something, and that will be very important. It's like if the case get dismissed, that's it, man. That gives us strength to fight all the other entities who are against us.
Yeah.
That's the tool. That's the weapon. With this, we go. If we don't get dismissed, it's just another FUD, man, that we'll have to deal with. But we have to be prepared for any.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that I don't understand about the case that's in front of us here right now is that they have called out Richard for fraud. So this is all really the things that they're going after are personal attacks on Richard. That he stole money, that he did this, the whole Interpol FUD with he did this, he did that. None of these are things that the crypto itself has failed at or done to anybody, or they're not questioning, even though it's funny that they list Hex, PulseX in the lawsuit, like they're part of it or something. But all these things are really personally directed at Richard. I don't understand how they can even, like you said, move forward with this case, because it's so convoluted with how they're going about it and what they're saying. And they don't have any of that. There's no real jurisdiction for the SEC if they're going after Richard personally. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense because
It's
they're
not a
trying to
strong
say
case.
it's not a strong case at all.
It's not a strong case. It's just like it just FUD. That's all it is, and that's what people need to understand. It just FUD. It just FUD used by scary agencies. That's it. It's just to scare people away, to sell the coins and just destroy the ecosystem. That's all it is. If that doesn't happen, we make through this because this case is not strong. The defense is strong.
Extremely.
So it's like, and now let's talk about this Interpol thing. Like, I want to ask you, like, this assault. When did it happen? If that happened, when?
Yeah, that's and I really can't speak to that other than my personal experience with Richard, which was only a couple of times, and multiple times on stream. He came on our show, we talked to him, and the private conversations that I've had with him, like when we met in London. Anybody's capable of anything, in my opinion. But I just don't see that kind of behavior in the Richard that I've met and known and have understood, with his book. So again, I can't.
But when did it happen? The event, allegedly, if that happened, when?
Yeah, it's not even. I don't think it's even determined when that happened. I haven't seen anything that showed any dates or times or anything like that. So who knows?
But it didn't happen last week. We're talking like years.
More than likely, yeah. I mean,
yeah. So the question is like, so why now?
Well,
because
I mean, I heard the tax stuff floating around for a little bit. That they're going after him, and now this thing just kind of got tacked on top of it. I hadn't heard of this before until now, so I don't know. I again, I am the biggest non-conspiracy theorist person around. I think in this whole space.
I think it's in your face,
but damn, I mean, at some point you have to look at everything and go, well. Because I know this community. I know Richard, as far as his interaction with all of us all this time, and none of this stuff that they've accused or mentioned about him is stuff that makes sense. It doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit what's going on around here. They're saying the alleged assault was in 2021. So
2021.
So a couple years.
4 years, guys. So okay. So when crime happens, people go to police same day or next day, and if you don't, it's over. Like, for example, in Peru, where I live, if you get any problem, you go to police. They say like, hey, you have to come same day. You come tomorrow, it's already too late. You come Monday, and it's a Thursday. It's like, forget about it. You know what I mean? It's like, if the crime committed, it has to be reported right away. This is that's what valid is. It's like, hey, I've been assaulted. Hey, Richard Hart beat me up. Okay, but how 4 years later? This is just dumb. That reminds me all the attacks on Trump when he was running. Suddenly you have this women that were assaulted and things like, hey, where were you before 20 years? Like, why didn't you, if he assaulted you, why didn't you go and sue the guy? You know what I mean? It's the same thing, it's the same parallels. Like, suddenly things just pile up in the timings right before something good supposed to happen, like a bull market, and all the success that we've been building as a community. And you have now SEC, now you have Interpol, now the stupid assault. That makes me actually angry, because when we talk about tax, okay, I don't understand taxation, man. It jumps my brain, like, literally. I hate it. I don't understand it. I think taxation is theft. It's like, I'm against this. It's like, but I don't know the law. Okay, maybe there is something there. I don't know. So, but assault, like, you don't go on Interpol wanted list for beating somebody up. You're going there for murdering people. What I mean?
For getting in an alleged fight and alleged tax evasion, and that's why Interpol is putting him on the most wanted list. It doesn't make sense.
It's dumb. You just look at those faces there. I mean, I took some time. I looked at those faces. Terrorists, serial killers, like fraudsters, like real criminal, like bad guys are there, and you have Richard there. It's like, it just makes no sense. It doesn't even compete, And the assault, it's a minor thing. Even if that happened, and it's like we don't even know what happened. Maybe the guy deserved to be beaten. Maybe Richard was walking on the street with like his Gucci stuff and shining Rolexes, and some drunk dude thought like, oh, that's an easy target to rob, and try to rob him. I don't know. And that could be self-defense or whatever. That we need to know what happened. Where is the evidence for this? Where is the case? Where is the video of the assault? Where is anything?
Yeah, none of it makes sense. None of it has made sense from the beginning.
From the beginning, exactly.
If we go all the way to launch day, when Richard was launching Hex, and it was before that. It was actually the adoption amplifier days, when the adoption amplifier launched, and Tone Vase got on stream with him, and if you look at that video and you watch everybody's body language, actions, first of all, Tone Vase had set that up, and you could see he was sitting back there with that shit-eating grin on his face. And this is one of those things that just fries me, because I saw it in him. I saw what a fucking weasel that guy was.
Who is this guy?
Tone Vase. He's Bitcoin maxi influencer. And he brought 2 lawyers on to try and gotcha to Richard. They came in strong and wrong, meaning that they were overzealous of who they were and their authority and all that kind of stuff, and really got into the whole passive aggressive lawyering kind of attitude, and they told Richard he was going to jail. And Richard said, look, man, I'm not going to sit here and build something and try and make it, right. And have you guys just come in here and shit all over it.
Going to jail for what?
Well, they didn't know. They really didn't know. They didn't know what he had built. They didn't know anything. It was a setup, and they were trying to.
It was a FUD.
Yeah, it was FUD, and it was on the day that Hex was launching, and or I think it was the adoption amplifier, and to see these people come in like that, coming in hot, told me right off the bat that, hey, Richard's got something here, and these guys don't like it, and it's going. So
you go to jail. We don't like your coins. You go to jail. Yeah. Because we are the Bitcoin maxis. We want our DEX to grow, and you go to jail. And Richard said, "Fuck off! I'm not going to jail. I'm going to the moon and taking my community with me." That's what happened.
Yeah. It was launch day one, and
but that was the spirit. That was the spirit of Richard.
Yeah, and well, I mean, the guy had been up all night launching the protocol, and he was beat up, tired, and these guys came at him from different directions, and it was really upsetting to see, and of course, since then those guys have said nothing, probably because of maybe a defamation lawsuit that they could be facing, so they've been quiet. And even Tone has been quiet on this front, but they came at him hard, and that really bothered me when I saw that. And then from then on, it was just one thing after another, and and Richard did. By the time he got done with it, he wore them down, and they were just, "Oh, come on, man, you're gonna go to jail, and I'm just trying to help you." And they just, that real slimy lawyer
scumbags
talk.
They're real scumbags. This is just scumbags, filthy scumbags. That's what it is.
And that's Tone Vase. That's who he is. That's the type of person he is. He is He is a maxi with a cause, and he's been paid to do so. And and that and Tone Bays, that isn't his real name. Yeah, let's. I don't care about doxing him. He's just he's a punk as far as I'm concerned, and
But they're all like this. All people, everybody is like who's trying to fight.
They're protecting their investments. They're protecting
exactly. But
because,
it's not honorable, because you don't do this by attacking others. No. Compete in the open market. Compete with ideas. Compete with quality of products. Compete with your intellect. That's good. I'm for this competition. Let's compete. Let's be better. Let's improve. But attacking others and being like, this is like, fighting others. That's just not fair. It's the same thing that what SEC is doing.
Yeah.
They're just manipulating market. That's what it is. That's why I thought would be good to have class action suit against Gary Gensler, who has to be charged at least with market manipulation, because by fighting the market, you're destroying the price. You manipulate the market.
Well, like what happened with those two agents that got caught falsifying information to bring those crypto projects down that they brought down. They got caught lying by the judge, and then those people resigned, and that was the end of it. It's like, well, why didn't you never just let two lower level people, you go all the way up to the top to find out where the orders came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was authorizing that? Who created that culture of it's okay to lie and try and bring other people down? What
and was they lied to court? They lied to the judge?
Yeah, they lied to the judge. The judge found out.
It's like, why they're not in jail? Why these junks are not in jail?
And the leadership too. Because they should have hauled them in. They should have hauled them in, questioned them, and said, "Well, if you guys don't want to go to jail over this, then you need to give up who gave you these orders to go ahead and act in this way."
This is justice, man. We're talking about justice system. This is justice. You don't lie to a judge, and you don't play dirty, filthy, scummy, sneaky, sleazy games.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Now, the legal system operates from what's brought before them. The judges do not go after people. They don't. Those are prosecutors and defendants and plaintiffs go after and they put things in front of the judge. So the judge, even though something went wrong, who's bringing them to justice? Who's out there calling for their heads on a plate and answering to why, under the leadership of Gary Gensler, was it okay for you to do this stuff? And I think that was something that was missed on all this. That nobody has held those people's feet to the fire to atone for what they did. And
it's a corrupt system.
And my guess is it goes right on up the ladder, to the heads of the SEC and who was given the orders for them to go ahead and behave in this manner.
That's how any agencies work like that. It's a power structure. You cannot do what you want. You only can do what you allowed. You only can follow the order. It's in police department, in every agency. A low-level clerk cannot just do things because unless the order was given by a superior. And by the superior, that's a power structure. So if something dirty is going on, somebody gave an order from the very top. It's in any agency. That's how corruption works, man. It's like somebody gives the order and other people just follow this order. Yeah. You can't just do it by yourself. You can't just wake up in the morning, being a low-level clerk, and say, you know what, I just go after Richard. And I don't care what my boss is saying. Yeah. No, you get fired right away. You get grilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So something went down there, and it wasn't handled right. It was left to what the interpretation of how these guys resigned, so that's good enough.
Resign?
That's all they did.
Jail, man. Jail. A prison time.
Oh yeah. What happens if you go to court and lie? What happens if you go to court
you
and
go
try
to
and frame
jail.
somebody. Yeah, if you try and frame
And you
somebody.
shoot, man. What the hell? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like it's not good. It's like obstruction of justice, man. The decision should be done in certain way, but because you lied, you obstructed this justice process.
Mhm.
Obstruct. It's a felony, man. You should be in jail. Resign. I don't care if they resign. I
Yeah, and
want.
it's a private
I want
agency. It's
roll.
not even like they're under the protection of the government. This is a private agency that only goes after civil case. So for them to just get away with it was
This is
kind of odd to
corruption.
me.
It makes me sick.
Yeah.
Makes me sick to see this. Like people need to go to jail. You committed crime against humanity, crimes against person. It's like, hey, not good. Not a slip on the wrist. Your head rolls. You know, prison sentence.
Yeah.
So and to show others that if you do this, you go and you share the sale with this guy or next to him. That's what we need to fight back. It's like we need to bring justice back into the justice system because it's been corrupted
Yeah.
for so long.
Yeah. Well, it's that there's a set of rules for some people, and then there's a set of rules
For others.
for other people. And
Yeah,
you
double
know,
standard. We know that.
yeah, and
We know that.
it's how things are brought to the justice system, and the loopholes that they use and the
Well, that's why
protections
we
that they
need
use.
exactly, but that's why we need to expose it because by exposing the corruption is the only tool we have legally to fight back
Yeah.
by being protected because that's what it is. It's like exposing, and these people are afraid to be exposed. They scared. They scared, because when you expose, you create public outrage and people push back. That's when you start seeing heads rolling down. You know what I mean?
And I mean, on top of it, on top of all of it, it's like it's almost like a campaign that they put out. So we've got these lawsuits. We've got the SEC walking into a New York district court and getting their asses handed to them by a top lawyer team, by Richard, the community. Everybody shows up in force. We've got amicus briefs with 50,000 signatures on it. We've got all these things landing on them. And then all of a sudden, after they get their ass kicked in a court,
Interpol.
Subpoenas going out to all of the influencers and people involved in the community.
And subpoenas for what? What is it that they want?
Oh, we got all of us got subpoenas. Who were a lot of influencers got subpoenas.
Like what? YouTube streamers or who?
Yeah, myself.
YouTube streamers. So if you stream, you get subpoena for what? What is it that they're looking for?
They want to know what contact you have with Richard. What they want to know.
How is it illegal to have a contact with the founder?
Well, see, that's where you need to understand what they can and can't do. So what they can do is question anybody affiliated or associated with Richard to see if there is any promotion going on. Now, here's what baffles me about that is that, you've seen these coins where Kim Kardashian or Kanye West or somebody has promoted and then they pump and dumped. And so they went after these people.
Everybody.
They sued them.
Everybody. The next day, everybody is getting fucking robbed.
Yep.
Where are the subpoenas there?
So, well, that's what I'm saying. They do. They do subpoena those people. The Haktua girl is probably going to go to prison for what's her involvement in that, because what they do is they paid them to promote, and then they pump and dumped. So they use these people that are famous or semi-famous or whatever, and they use them to set up pump and dumps. And I get it. That's something that they should go after. But that's not the case here. They're using that scenario to try and define what Richard, this community, and the Hex Interpol's protocols are doing, and that's not what's happening, and it's obvious that's not what's
So
happening.
okay, so we're talking about the rocks. The idea is to go after people who rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. I support that.
Mm-hmm.
I support that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you scam people, your ass should be locked up. 100%. That's why we need agencies. That's why we need SEC and law enforcement to go after real scammers. But that's not the case. And I can talk about this like half an hour to show to speak about the real scammers who scammed me and 2 million people, $2 billion, and I was the guy who started the petition, got 2,000 signatures, sent to SEC 3 times. I have all the submissions, sent to other law enforcement agencies, knocking on their doors with real proof of fraud. $2 billion. People lost their life savings. People killed themselves over this. You know what I mean? I lost $30,000, and I want my money back. And I want these scumbags in jail too. But this is the real scammers, fraudsters who promised people 300% return on your investment in 20 months. That was how they sold it. A promise was made, and that's the key in this kind of process. They want to see if Richard promised nothing to anyone.
Never promised.
It was like all sacrifice. Nothing was promised. Like, hey, you give me, you do this. That's the risk you take. Might or might not happen. That's it.
Richard was extremely adamant about explaining the pitfalls of a new launch of a crypto, a new launch of an L1. He was very, very adamant about saying, I don't owe you anything. I don't work for you. None of this stuff
it's a sacrifice.
Has any value. It is a sacrifice. You get nothing.
That's it.
This stuff goes down 90%. You need to be ready for that. It's the most volatile asset on the planet. Blah, 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 blah. He said that stuff for years.
Many times.
Then when we go into court, the SEC goes, oh, well, that was just him going hint, hint, wink, wink. And it was
it's invalid. You can't go by what people might or might not think. You go by what people said.
Yeah. And that's what the judge
promised you.
Saw them.
They're lying scum.
Yeah.
That's a lying scum. And if I promise you something, I'm telling you about real fraud that happened. The people told us, you give me your money, I give you 300% return in 20 months. And then all was wiped out. We all lost our money. A real Ponzi, real classic Ponzi with names and addresses, with fake CEOs, fake people, actors were hired to make videos. This is like, you know what I mean? And I'm like writing messages, writing emails, submitting to SEC, and I hear nothing back for over 13 months. In 2023, I submitted the first submission February 1st. I have all the receipts, man. February 1st, 2023. Bam! Fraud. 2 million people. $2 billion in fraud, okay? Nothing. Zero. Sent to Department of Justice. Nothing. I sent to Dubai. That's what we heard where the scumbags were hiding. I sent to Dubai major, headquarter police. I sent to UK. Man, I spent like much time like researching and sending this stuff to everybody. Nothing happened, okay? Later, after like 13 months, there was some movement. But during this time, nothing happened. And yet, on July 31st, 2023, SEC finds the human resources and time to go after Richard. So they ignore the real scammers, and yet they go after Richard. Who scammed no one, didn't rock.
Let's look at that. All right. So let's look at let's see why does it happen that way? Why does a real scam go unnoticed, and why does something that's obviously not a scam
I have idea on that
get hammered? And how does that go from this little crypto space all the way into, you know, the highest echelons of the governments around the world, right? So you've got Bitcoin maxis, like we talked about from the beginning, understanding and fearing that there's something going on here that's going to affect them. Richard built a better Bitcoin, and they knew it. They knew it from the beginning, and
a better Ethereum.
Or else they wouldn't have mattered. If it was everything that they said it was, if Hex and Pulse Chain was everything that they said it was, then it wouldn't have mattered to them. They would have let it go like the other thousands of cryptos that have, you know, scammed out, scummed out, you know. But for some reason, they continue to hammer, because for some reason, even though, you know, Richard's products have done perfectly fine and no one's ever been hurt, other than the SEC, the exchanges, the coin regulating sites or reporting sites. All of these people that have come at Hex are the ones that have affected the price, that have affected investors that are involved in it. Yes. Not Richard, not the code, not the products, not liquidity. None of that stuff has affected anybody. Nobody has been hurt. The bad Hex didn't touch anybody anywhere.
Or defrauded, or misled.
Or even got a bad deal, which is something that Richard always says. Nobody's even gotten a bad deal from me, let alone, you know, getting, you know, yeah. So there's bigger forces going in the background here doing something. People are telling people, asking for favors, trying to get things done in the background. And in my opinion, you know, it all started when Tone, you know, brought all those people in and was trying to blast, you know, Richard a long time ago.
It's out of fear. They fear us.
Yeah.
They fear us. And that has to be understood. When you're not afraid of somebody, like in life, you know, you don't mess with these people. You just walk. If they cross your path, you get in a fight. But if not, you just walk. You don't mess with people who are weaker than you. And it's like it doesn't work like this. Like whatever, man. It's like a big dog. I walk with my German Shepherd on the street, and I see a stupid Chihuahua barking at him. He doesn't even care. We just keep walking. Same with people. Like, you know, we don't care. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing. But if you're afraid, that's the difference. Like out of fear, you will be attacking. They attack out of weakness and fear. And that is our strength. We just need to remember we are strong as a community. This community is the strongest community in crypto. That's 100%. It survived 99% down. It survives horrible FUDs from the beginning. Attacks, Interpol, wanted lists, fugitives. I mean, bro, what can you bring more? Like the next FUD, probably just arrest Richard Hart arrest. That's like, if that happens, that's the next FUD. That's it. You know what I mean? What else can be done to us? And we're still here, people still streaming, people still DCAing. I'm not selling. I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm just angry. I'm trying to push back legally, but I'm not going anywhere. I was scared for like maybe 30 seconds, under a minute, really. It's like 1 minute. It was in the morning. I just checked the chart, 50% down. Like, man, I thought like, is it nuclear war? Did Biden nuke Moscow? I really thought like Biden nuke Moscow, or they just released another virus, man, you know, to derail Trump's inauguration. I thought something macro happened, 50%, something bad. I didn't even think about Richard. I thought it's like some macro, like something going up, something going up. Yeah. And then I'm like, Interpol, is it a joke? It took me, I had to double check. I had to go to Interpol it's like to see Richard. I was like, man, is it real? Like, then it's like, okay, that's real. Okay, then the rest, like, man, that's just dumb charges. You put assault on it. Okay, tax evasion. Okay, I don't know. That's like sounds scary, and people like, oh, maybe tax evasion, but assault, like beat up some 60 years, a billionaire, like, bro, it's like it's easier to pay somebody to do this for you if you need to take care of business. If you're not athlete yourself. If you can't fight with people, you know what I mean?
He's just not that dumb, you know. He doesn't.
This is dumb.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't, it's like, I can't see a mistake being made like that,
Unless it was a self-defense, which I totally support Richard in this
which
case.
more than likely, if there was some, somebody putting their hands on somebody, it may have been a self-defense situation, or
Of course,
it might have
makes
been,
no sense. I mean, just think about if you have if you're a rich and wealthy dude, man, who retired like at 26, and you can live a life of a dream. Why would you do some stupid things like that? Richard is smart guy.
yeah,
You know, it's like the guy is rich. He has a lot to lose by being stupid.
yeah,
You
a,
know, so
a lot to
a
lose.
lot, a lot, like a lifestyle of a billionaire. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Richard,
And just his ethos, though. If you've read or listened to SJ read the sci-fi book, you'll see that there's a person under there that has a lot of thought and a lot of integrity and a lot of and it's just his book and it's just his words. But for somebody to think like that, to thrive in the world like that, you would definitely think that there's better discernment under there than beating up a 16-year-old kid in the streets of Europe somewhere.
yeah, this
I
is dumb.
just
And talking about integrity, let's support it. You just said, yeah, it's all words. Okay, but it's not just words. We can support the fact that Richard has integrity, and it's very simple. The guy didn't rock.
no, he didn't.
They did. It's
Never did.
like sorry guys, but he didn't. He could rock. He could dump everything on us, buy an island somewhere in Pacific, start a fucking country with his judicial system, with like a bunch of models, start a harem and live for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? It's like, but he didn't, man. He's here fighting SEC, making tweets, doing things, maybe working on the products. I don't know. So the fact that he has integrity, it's a fact. It's not a maybe. He has. He's an honest guy. He didn't. And what about the sacrifice funds? They're still there. We can still on chain. We
Still
see it
see
on
him.
chain. We see
Yeah.
so where is the rock? Where is the scam? Where is the fraud? Where are the victims? So it's like, this is what I'm saying. It's like we need to push back as a community. We need to unite the community, all the streamers, all the people. It's like unite and push back against corruption, against this conspiracy against us. It's a conspiracy for sure. It's not just random acts by the universe. Like suddenly you get FUD from Interpol when we're just about to kind of get dismissal from SEC. It's like and that can influence the judge too. What if judge would get this article and it's like, hey, look, the guy's a fugitive, a violent person. Maybe he's a bad person. Maybe he should be going to trial. You know what I mean? It's trying to influence people key people who make decisions.
Yeah.
It can be a purpose of this too, not just to scare us, but it could be to influence the decision.
Well, that's obvious with MEXC, what happened. This information coming out. My guess is that, they probably got a call and they probably saw everything. And so they made a decision to risk litigation against them for reneging on a contract.
But somebody pressing buttons here with power. Some powerful entities are pressing out. The same SEC can just give a call to this guy and say, hey, I want you to delist polls. If not, we will start an investigation. That's takes a 2 minutes conversation, man. For a SEC official, 2 minutes to make that happen. To delist anyone, hey, you don't want an investigation? Delist those guys. Thank you. Boom. That's it. Takes 1 minute, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or other powerful entities. So it's obviously it's not a random. For me, it's like, man, I see behind the scenes. I see the hidden hand moving, moving things around. That's what I see. Call me crazy, but this is like,
no,
it's just like the timing. It tells you
the coincidence. There's no more coincidences here. Like I said, I don't buy into conspiracies at all, but the angles at which they've come at this, they've tried everything that they
Yeah,
possibly
that's true.
can.
Everything.
Um, from coming at all the community members to going after Richard and anybody affiliated with him to,
Yeah, to
uh,
destroy the leadership, because when
yeah,
you destroy the leadership, everybody leaves, everybody
yeah.
sells, and we'll
And
lose
they
our money.
haven't been able to do that. And it's just made us stronger,
Stronger,
and
man.
that's,
And that's powerful, man. So that's what I want to share. This is important. Like when you look at the dam, okay, like a dam lake or something, and when the water adds up, let's say the rain's coming, a lot of rain come, but you don't really see the level goes up like daily, okay? You just don't see it. But the rain comes, and at some point when there is water just reaching certain level, the dams breaks. It just breaks. That's the analogy. It's like our efforts, like fighting back, is that dumb. You don't see it, like you don't see this, you don't see the small wins, but it's all adding up to a big win, and at certain point the dam will break. I believe that will break and we will win. We just need to make it through until that happens. And we need to keep streaming, and we need to do conferences and all this stuff, because the conferences and meetups, it's what holds the community together. This is what bonds the community together. That's the engine, that's the fuel. It's important to show that we are moving forward regardless of any FUD. Like, you can't scare us with more.
No.
What more, man? Fugitive? Man, this is like a scary FUD. I got scared for a minute. I said, okay, maybe it's time to get out. But how can I get out? I'm like 50% down, man. And I've invested like 11 years of my living expenses. I'm heavily invested in this. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not giving you 50% of my money. I work for my money. I'm not stealing my money. I work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm here to win. And period. And I will fight back legally, and I will inspire others to stand back, to stand up for their investments, because attack on your money is attack on your family.
Yeah.
That's it. I take it personally. It's a personal attack. It's a personal attack on every person who holds Richard Hart coins. You hold Richard Hart coin, you've been attacked. You are under attack. Are you going to sit back and say nothing? Or are you going to make noise about this? Or are you going to speak the truth? Are you going to just to say something, man? Raise your fucking voice. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah.
Your money online. I work for my money. I will fight for my money.
Yeah.
So talking about this, maybe I can share a few things that I thought that would be important to do to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all legal, and it's all just writing to a certain entities. That's it. So I made a list of 8 points of what I suggest we do as a community. And I talked to Corey about this. He liked the idea. Let's see if we can do it with him. Hopefully we can get it done. If not, we need to keep going. So here is just 8 points. I'll just read it for you. I make the notes here. I just read for you. So first, create a cover letter by attorney and submit the amicus brief to Interpol addressing Chief Ahmed Nasser al-Raisi, requesting a deletion of the red notice. So this guy is a chief of the Interpol, amicus briefs has what, 44,000, 50,000. It's a lot of people. It's an army of people who give their phone numbers and addresses. This is serious. This is a force that we have to fight back. So I have all the links. I got all the links, man. I spent a day researching. So I have the Interpol Contact Press Office link, and another one that's very important. It's Interpol General Secretariat. These are it's an Interpol unit that have the power to delete the red notice. So it's a fugitive wanted person. Boom, you go there. Now, second, submit the same documents to the Interpol Notices and Diffusion Task Force, an Interpol unit that reviews compliances requests. These are the people who receive requests from a government, from a member state, which is Finland in this case, and then they post the request. They put people on the wanted list. Request the General Secretariat delete the red notice. They have the power to do it, but they need to be convinced. So we need to send it to them. Then number 3, send all information to President of Finland. I got his address, I got his email. You know, it's like
let's make sure we get all that information. We can put it on the it on the description.
I will
If
send
people
it
want
to
to
you.
send
Yeah.
message, they
Absolutely.
can go do that.
Now, for National Prosecution Authority, it's a Finland's Attorney General office in Helsinki. We send it to him. Number 5, sell all information to European Parliament in Brussels. I have Brussels address and in Washington. Boom. All emails and physical. You have to do both, emails and physical. Number 6, send all information to US, UK, and European Union agencies, news agencies. We need to bring attention to this. We need to create public outrage and sustain that through consistent effort exposing this. Both mainstream and independent media coverage is essential. This aims to create a public outrage over the government overreach. If we don't make noise, nothing happens. We will be continued, pushed around. That's it. Number 7, create a social media storm following submission. So after we'll do all this, everybody will have Twitter account, X, YouTube, any. You just say it that what was done. We, the community, send all these letters to these agencies to let people know. It's awareness. It's an info war. We are in info war. That's it. You make people aware that we are doing things. We're not sitting back. We're not scared. We're not running. We are sending 44,000 signatures to these entities who have the power to make decisions. In this case, remove the red notice. Okay? And number 8 is follow up with emails. So this amicus brief, it's a powerful tool. Mm-hmm. Because these people, I'm not saying they're bad people, they just don't know. They're dealing with criminals all day long.
Yeah.
For them, it's like, okay, Finland wants this guy arrested. Okay, everything in compliance. Okay, they're not. Here's the question: how many fugitives and murderers in the Interpol history were, when they were listed? How many of them got 44,000 people, community behind them, writing back to the agency?
Don't think so.
Prime ministers, AGs, presidents, and writing back with a legal cover letter. That's why it has to be legal. That's why I personally suggested to ask Nuclear Herbs to help us. He's the attorney. So I don't know, maybe other people can help, but if he can do, would be great. I suggest that he writes, if he can contribute that, a cover letter that explains what's behind us, why we're writing this, and send 44,000 signatures. It's a powerful tool. And then the guy, the Interpol guys just open it up with 44,000. Like, whoa, like what's happened? This is like international scandal. and nobody wants international scandals because bad press is bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not good. So we need to make international scandal, not just letting them attack us. So far they've been attacking us. SEC, Interpol, fugitive, fraudster, Richard Hart, bad person. Okay, that was their move. Now it's time to make our move. And this is the move. It's legal, it's moral, and it's ethical. We just send letters to this agency and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I agree. We need to make noise now. The problem is, and I know we need to make noise. The problem is that this space and our subgroup within this crypto space is very small, very you don't see a lot of noise coming out of the crypto space into mainstream. You don't see, there's really no. I know we've
made the noise. I don't care.
We made the noise. I hear you, but at what point do you break out? At what point do you get heard? You can make all the noise you want, but
hey, if you don't make a okay, but if you don't make a noise, you won't be heard.
Oh, we've been making noise for 5 years.
Were we writing to government agencies with 44,000?
We're delivering ourselves to government agencies.
Yes, because we were forced into it.
Yeah, I've been traveling the world talking to politicians, talking to lobbyists, talking to government officials. I've been out there doing this stuff, and I know how hard it is to break through and make enough noise that these people are actually listening to us.
Okay, but you were doing it yourself. But what about 44,000 people doing that with you?
Well, we've done that. That was done over a year ago, and where has it gone? Who's it landing on, and who's hearing it? What news agency out there that's mainstream or has a big audience is hearing what we're saying? I know they're hearing what the SEC is saying. They're hearing what Interpol's saying. They're hearing what the exchanges are saying. They're hearing that. But when are they going to start listening to us? When are we going to break through?
Keep knocking on the door. Keep knocking on more doors. That's the way. There is no other way. You keep doing until it's done. That's it. There is no other way. We can just sit and say, yeah, we're not being heard. Let's just say, let's just go and let's just sell everything and let's go do something else in life, But if we don't keep doing, if we don't keep reaching, if we're not continuing to do this, it's like we will not be heard. That's for sure. That's like mathematical certainty. You don't do it, nothing happens. But if we keep doing, it's international scandal. If Richard wins the case against SEC, that gives us a lot of confidence to fight further, and that looks very promising. I think he's going to.
Yeah. Well, we've got to start stacking up wins, and that's the thing.
Yes,
we don't have wins. I mean, we've survived. We haven't gone.
That's a win. That's a win. That's a win.
We've been, we've been in their face. We've done everything that we can, and something to be said. People in the chat room were talking, or in the chat were talking about, Richard's comment about the events. I want to, speak to that real quick. Being the person who's putting together a lot of in-person events, there's nobody's getting rich off of any of this stuff. In fact, it's cost me money. It hasn't been one dime spent on my lifestyle on any of these events. This Vegas event is paid for. I paid for it. It's there. People want to go, they can. Now, what I heard Richard say is, paid groups and these events, these crypto events and all this stuff, you could be putting your money into the system. Yes, you can. But in order for us to become a strong community, we've had these events. These events have brought people together. These events have put projects together. These events have made that amicus brief possible. Yes. It's the fact that we've all developed relationships with one another in person that has made value. So I push back on Richard saying that about, I don't think he was addressing our group per se.
It can be perceived like that.
But of course, and that's okay. Richard has his opinion on things, and we've been out here doing our thing, and that's, again, and it shows that we are not affiliated with one another.
I disagree with him on that for sure.
Yeah,
I disagree with him on that for sure. That's a wrong view from Richard. That's one of the things I disagree. I don't agree. I like Richard. I trust Richard, but I don't agree with everything. What I mean? Of course. And if there's a place to criticize Richard, I'll be the first to do it. And I've done it too, But it's like,
we all
have. Support. It's like, hey, you don't do events. Like, how many Cardano events do you see? Do you see Cardano conferences, and people bonding together and thinking how to build stuff on the system? And it's like, I don't see that. Do you see other people getting to? It's like, what makes this community unique is this meets up and conferences and get together. People meet each other in person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like not just online, in person. People put their energy, put their time, put their money to make it instills confidence in the community. It's important. I can't believe he said that.
I think what SJ even just said in the chat was that, she said, honestly, Richard was talking about fake gurus, not community events.
That makes sense.
Video. That's clear in the video.
Yeah, fake guru, of course, they take your money. They sell you, they give you some information that you can get online free. Everything is online, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there is no
and
guru that can tell you anything that you don't know. You
yeah,
know, the Google is the greatest guru now. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You know, and it's all free. So probably he referred to these fake events when people just going out. I can imagine he would discourage us from getting together and empower our community.
no,
I can't. This just makes no sense, man.
yeah,
You know, this is not Richard's mind.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
maybe
we've
he will clarify himself. Maybe he will clarify. Well, let's see if he clarifies. It doesn't make sense what he says, and I disagree with that. If he did, just to
yeah,
go on the record, if he did, it's wrong. It's not constructive.
hmm
If he did, if he meant that, it's not constructive. And I encourage people to do the events. And
well, I
if
mean,
I would be first, I would go.
if you look at a lot of Richard's videos, he's done interviews at these crypto events, a lot of them. So
That's how you get people together.
he's gone himself. He even got to call out fake Satoshi at one of those events.
He did. I saw
Very
it. And that's
famous.
a full respect for Richard. I saw
Yeah.
this video. It takes courage, man. It takes a lot of courage to call somebody like on the stage and say like, "Hey, you are fake Satoshi." This is courage.
Yeah.
I respect Richard. When he did this, it's like, man, this guy has balls. He is not. He doesn't have athletic body, but he has spirit of a warrior. That's why I like Richard.
Yeah.
For this, I see him as a spiritual warrior. You know, he's not a street fighter. He can, you know what I mean? But he's fighting with his spirit. He's fighting, man.
Yeah.
He's not a coward, and I respect him for that. You understand?
Yep.
It's important quality in people that I personally respect. Not a coward. I respect you, man. You know? Just that. Just show me this. And that you're willing to stand up for what you believe in. I will respect you. You're my friend. You're welcome in my home. He's a spiritual warrior. And that's one of the important things that I actually trust Richard, because he's that. He's doing that. He's fighting back. He's like going in podcasts, fighting with his dumb people. It's like, I don't know. It's like why he's doing it. Like, is it the best time? Is this the best way to use his time? I don't know. It's his business. But I saw some, like there was some guy, I don't know the name. I was like shocked. Richard kept so much patience. I couldn't do that. If I would be confronted with such a dumb, dickhead, I would just destroy him like in a minute, man. I was just send him to hell, get out, and stood out and just walk out of the studio, man, because it's just dumb. The guy was just like, he pushed it like, hey, you're a fraud. You're a fraud. And he's like, okay, where's the fraud? Show me the fraud. Like talking to him sense, and the guy was just attacking. It's like, bro, why are you doing this? Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's fighter. He's a fighter, and I respected him. And he's not a scammer. He never sold. He never dumped. He never rocked. It's a fact that everybody can check. I respect Richard Hart for who he is, even though I was very appalled by his outrage marketing and all this stuff. I was like, man, that's just too much for my taste. That was like but you know what? I was so happy to hear him acknowledge that in this Christmas message. I heard the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing, and he finally said like, bro, it's dumb. This clone stuff is like you can only bring clones in. Like, why do it's just too bad he understood it like years later. The damage was already done. We still have this to deal with.
I think that it also brought a lot of attention. Now, it didn't bring good attention. Obviously, I think that some of what we're seeing here is the fallout from some of that.
That's the damage. That's the damage. We're dealing with the collateral damage.
Yeah.
Of this outrage marketing. That's what we're dealing with, but he understood that he's not going to do it hopefully again. That's good development, and it takes courage to admit the wrongdoing. So I respect Richard again. It's like he got more scores now in my system of value. He got more respect because he had the courage to admit the wrongdoing.
Now
he's like, that wasn't good.
Now here's something that I value in the whole situation is that, even though I felt the same way you did when it was all going on, I thought it was clownish. I thought
not productive, man.
Not productive. But then again, when I look at it in retrospect, here's what I do understand. And this comes from, being in the Marine Corps and understanding ultimate pain. taking you to that place where you don't think you have anything left in the gas tank. You don't think you have anything left mentally. And then you break through it, persevere, and continue on. And then they break you down again, and you find a way to do it one more time. That's always been valuable to me, no matter the pain of and suffering of hard work and determination and sticking it out. Always brings value to those people that go through the struggle. It's that butterfly escaping the cocoon, us being held to the fire, Richard being held to the fire, this community as a whole being held to the fire legally, socially, from within the space itself, has only made us stronger, has made us a better community, has made us understand, learn, and want to be more than the regular crypto status quo. And I think this community is that. I think that we have the smartest people, the best developers, the hardest community.
Yes.
And it's because of the struggles that we went through and have gone through and have been working through. So I see this as, even though it was a hard thing, it was a good thing that we've gone through all this. And then when we come out on the other end, we're going to be
strong, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but you just said, like, when you don't have anything left in the tank. But I don't think it's the case with Richard. The guy is smart. He is smart. He has a lot of fuel. He can say a lot of good things. If he could just use his mind to market, he would attract much more better people. Mm-hmm. Like, he can produce, he can deliver. He can just start a stream now. He probably will get like 400,000 views, like same day. People will be watching. It's like, you don't need Gucci, man, clown feed on you. Just speak the truth and educate people on crypto. You can advance your message much farther by just simply being who you are, and people loves you for who you are. I think he understood that finally, but we need to kind of clear up the mess.
Yeah.
It's like, and we're doing that. And absolutely, when we get through the other side, we will be like as strong as hell. I mean, if this didn't kill us, SEC, Interpol, I mean, the delisting is like nothing, man. This is like playing children playing in the backyard. SEC is serious. Interpol is serious. We're with those guys, bro. We are here forever. Like, this is like the hacks community and Pulse will gain a kind of immortal title. Like, we become immortal in the crypto space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, what can they do to us? I mean, literally, it's I've been going to a lot of these Bitcoin events and just general crypto events, my local area here in Southern California. And and the who's who of crypto are in there, and they're all hanging and whatnot. And when they find out you're a Hexagon, when they find out that you support Richard Hart, you got half the people are against you and they hate you and they want to come after you and talk shit and try and debunk everything that you say and all that. I think about another quarter of them are indifferent. They don't care. They don't have anything to say. But then there's another quarter of them that want to hear, that want to understand, that want to hear what you have to say, that want to learn about what's going on there, because they've heard the FUD. They've seen it still here. They see us out there in the public, speaking to them, and they want to know. So there is a smaller group within the crypto space that are actually willing to listen to us and willing to, and those are the people that we need to bring in.
You need to reach out to them. You bring them. That's how we breach communities. We talk to people who are receptive, But the main thing is to not to be afraid of pushing back against anyone in life. Anyone. It's just like anyone. It can be your neighbor. It can be your colleague. It can be your friend. It can be government. It doesn't matter. Don't ever give into fear. Oh, these guys are bigger, man. You know how many times, when you fight on the streets, like, I'm coming from like streets life, that's how it was. It's like many times I saw a big guy get beaten by the small guy, like in 5 seconds. He is stronger, a lot stronger, but he's a coward, man. He cannot. And this guy has the spirit to fight. He's a fighter. and he just beat him up. It's an analogy, and I saw it in life like many times. Like, man, how does it work? The guy's like big muscles, like how this thing can do. But that's what it is. It's a spirit of fighter that wins. You know, you need to have also the speed and the strength, but the spirit comes first, and this spirit. It's important to resurrect. Yes, exactly. It's important to resurrect the spirit in each person. So you fight and win the life, because we are up against big forces, life itself, the whole matrix, man, and it's like spiritless people don't win. You just have to understand that. And Richard has the spirit, and that's why I respect Richard, man.
And this community has too.
And the community, man, this is crazy community. It's like I like many people. I never met people in person, but I like many stories. Like in my new book, I put your channel is there. I think Corey's channel is there. Crypto 7. It's just people who I found to be good, honest, informative, and I want to refer this to others who want to learn about hacks and pulse chains. It's in my book. Your channel's in my book. You know what I mean? It's like, and nobody's paying me shit, man. Like, I wish I can use some extra help here, 50% down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 years through the bloody bear,
we'll have your book there. Everybody wants to get your book. And here's, I think, what the difference between what Richard was saying and what's really going on in this community as far as events and paid groups and books. Like, I know that we have a handful of paid groups that people are actually learning how to provide liquidity, how to validate, how to
I don't know how to
build projects. So all of these paid groups that are going on that I've seen in here, I see some value. I see value. Now, if you learn more about this ecosystem, if you learn more about what you can do to make passive income or make good decisions on what it is that you get involved in this space, then there's value there, and it's going to make you more money. The events that we go to, I mean, in Vegas, going to the range and shooting machine guns and ARs and handguns and all that with people, it just, you have bonding.
I think it's great. Absolutely, it's great. I encourage that.
And it's
together.
And it's been, and all these things have value, and all these things, not only by strengthening your community do you bring value to that crypto, but the things you learn and being better in this space and understanding more of what's going on here, making better investments for yourself in this space. There's value in all that, and so just throwing your money willy-nilly at ridiculous events to go have a steak dinner with Tone Vays, or willy-nilly to go to some paid group or some guy that's going to show you how to leverage trade, those are
and they get wrecked.
No good, and they're going to get you wrecked. And that's, I think, what Richard was addressing when he was talking about those things. But
I think so. It makes no sense to kind of self-inflict pain. It just makes no sense. So anyway, this is the book. If you guys want to read Unplugged, you can find it on internet. I mean, on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, right?
Yeah, on Amazon. And
we'll have the link. We'll have the link down in the description. SJ will put that down there, so it'll be.
And it has chapters on Richard and on hacks and what's happening in the whole crypto space and the war on crypto. And this is just a part of the book. It's a spirituality. It's more. It's spirituality, psychedelics, and crypto, and which I think are the three pillars of freedom. And I explain why I think so, and I kind of support the whole argument here. So you want to read, you read. I think it's very good and an enlightening book. But regardless, guys, like just reading the book will not change your life. We need to take action.
You have to apply.
You have to apply it, of course, in your personal life. And, in this particular case, we need to write back. That's what I believe has to be done, because there's nothing else we can do. Yeah. We can rant on X all day long, but you're not reaching news medias, alternative, mainstream. You're not making a scandal. It has to be international scandal. We have to have media coverage. Here is the guy, serious entrepreneur, the guy who wrote books, make them available for people to improve their lives. The
For
guys
free.
who for free, the guys who fundraise 27 million for medical research. That's important. Who
Yeah, it is.
is there another
It's
fugitive did that?
that right there alone is so important that
It's very important
it made an impact in the court case
on the judge.
When we were watching the judge. They were making a case against Richard Hart with the tongue-in-cheek, stuff saying, "Oh yeah, he said all these things, but
Yeah, but he
really,
didn't do it.
what's going on?"
Yeah.
And there and when it was mentioned that it says she goes, it says here he raised 27 million for charity. What is this? And they're like, his counsel said, "Yes, Your Honor, there was 27 million during this raised for charity for the Sens Foundation, blah blah." And she was like, you can see her looking at the SEC like, really, this is the guy you're trying to demonize? I don't see
That's
where you guys are trying to make an assumption. You're first of all, you're saying how he should spend his money. You're making assumptions about his character. You're saying he was hint saying this, but that's not what that was not
what
the,
he does.
He said these things. He laid it all out there. So him protecting himself, the people around him, the investors, everybody that are getting involved, him saying those things, you're saying was him just lying about those things when he was trying to protect the project and himself and everything else by trying to act within the confines of the law because we don't have clear tracks to run on in crypto.
And why not keeping 27 million for yourself?
And to see her kind of like change her attitude towards them even more when she heard that about the 27 million, I was kind of like really, this is the guy you're trying to demonize? I've seen some bad stuff in crypto and this guy doesn't appear to be one of them,
Hey, did Don Juan make fundraiser with 20 or Mashinsky or all the scammers? You know what I mean? Like they would keep
they're all in orange jumpsuits too.
And that's what they belong because they scam people.
They scam.
You scam people, you should be in jail.
I think
that's
what it just got extradited last night or yesterday, I think.
Whatever, man. Well, this fucker owes me $2,000 too. Where's my money? Where's my money, scumbag? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but think about it. It's like a scammer would keep the money. It's like $27 million. It's a lot of money. Why don't you keep to yourself? Run away. Scam the people. Run away. But
he 27 million. That's a comfortable life.
Gee, I can't even imagine this. Like 27 million. Okay, that's like let me grow into this. I don't understand this. You know what I mean? It's like, but the facts are speaking for themselves. These are the facts, and for sure it has an effect on the judge. It seems like a reasonable judge. She actually looked into this case. She actually tried to understand what's happening here. And now the 18 states suing SEC. 18 states got together suing SEC for overreach. This is like, it's not like Richard Hart now. This is like half of America suing SEC now.
Yeah.
From 50 states, it's 18, man. It's almost half. It's just a bit less. This is powerful. All this information have to be gathered and sent to this judge so she can be aware of this too. Probably she is, but it's important.
She is very informed.
It has to be like, hey, this is like a serious. That's what influenced the decision. 18 states suing. This is serious stuff. Let
me grab something real quick. Hold on one second. I don't think I've shown this on stream yet. So, the talking about the judge being informed, right? She was before the case started. Richard's lawyers put this up in front of the judge. So this is the timeline of everything that occurred, everything that was wrote in the complaint, and timelines put to it. And they were obviously going to direct her to the timeline as they were arguing the case, and she never once looked up at that timeline, but she knew the timeline. She was speaking to the timeline without ever looking at it. So that told me that not only was she reasonable in looking at things, and her opinion was being affected by counsel on both sides, she was also well-versed in what was going on, because she understood the timeline without even having to look at that. And the lawyers, she did her research.
Researched that. She understood the matter. She tried to understand that. This is a good judge trying to understand the matter.
Yeah, and that was a bullish signal there, as far as what may be going on here in the future with this. So anyway, we've been going on over like an hour and a half. Anything else you want to drop before we end the stream here?
I think we covered the whole thing, and the only thing is, like, we still trying to do this Hex Awakening in Peru in April. So whoever wants to join, just come and let's do. The idea is to have like 2 weeks, hexagons and pulsicons, and do our healing work. And the idea is to heal the Hex ethos on the astral plane. To stop the bleeding from all this harm, from all this damage, from all this infighting. So to send good, healing, positive energy into the ethos and amplify this by a number of people. So whoever wants to come, we're here. We work normally.
I think I might be able to make it, because I'll be traveling that month. So I think I might be able to make it, go through Peru, and then head over to Europe from there. I think I might be able to make it. So
April 1st, that's what I thought would be a good time, and we can do a good. Cusco is the most #1 tourist location in the world. So there's 4 million people coming to catch a picture, and we can do some advertising there, and just some streamings from here. It can be fun, and good serious healing work on a personal level. Whatever you need for yourself, but also to have like a intention for the whole community, for the whole ethos, because we're all affected by what's happening, and this is one way to help. That's it. That's why I came up with this idea. That's pretty much it.
Right on.
So all right, if you want, I can talk to you, and then we can get in touch.
Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate you jumping on the show with me today. We'll definitely have another follow-up and speak some more on these issues.
Hopefully no FUDs to crush. We don't want more FUDs, man. Leave us alone.
They're almost all out, right? What's possibly left?
That's it. But the good thing, guys, and that's what I said on the Courage show at the end too. Just focus on the good things too. The G's are out. Like all the sellers are gone. We are at the bottom. We are strong. It's like, that's it. It's like you had all the opportunity to get out. Now the hardcore believers and people who are staked are in the community. That's it. From here, it's only glory from here. It's all up.
I'd like to hope so. We'll see what they can find to throw at us this next time. All right, my man.
We'll punch back.
We will. Thanks for coming. All right, everybody. We'll catch you on Friday on the Up and Hangout. Talk soon. Take care. Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of code. The fundamentals of code are better than Bitcoin. The inflation model is better than inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. Decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things.